Tony D and Little Joan with a screenwriter's rant on The North Witch, a horror movie that's got a kind of a cool look to it. Smash a like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books. The links are in the description. Speaking of witches, comedy horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys, books 1 through 16, available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free. Little Joan's somewhere in the house back there. So there is a cabin, the lair of the North Witch, where people go to find it and they disappear. And a group of girls decide to go into the woods and find it. I think you could see the witch way in the distance in that shot. And they find the missing dude's wallet. And eventually someone disappears, and then they find the cabin, and it just gets worse and worse from there. Cabin looks a little too modern for my taste. That finished floor, yeah, it's a little too modern. There's kind of modern furniture in it, but I'm not sure what era the cabin's supposed to be from in this folktale. Here, she's pulling hair out of a wound, I think. It's pretty gross. More gross things happen. Spelling out help and firewood, drawing crazy pictures. And then I think she bashes her own teeth in with this hammer. It's a bit crazy. So it's called the North Witch. Called the North Witch. See if we can get that picture up. No, that's not the one, but so creepy things, screaming. I kind of dig it. I kind of dig the vibe. I don't think you really see the witch in the trailer. Not quite sure who the main character is in this, but it's got a bit of a Blair Witch quality to it. There's even a shot of that little stick figure, which I think that's kind of a Blair Witchy thing, but it might tie into some folktale. I don't know. I think that might be the witch there in the darkness. So, first act, they establish this North Witch legend, whatever it is, and someone's disappeared, and these girls decide to find the cabin. They're not really looking there for the guy per se, but they're looking to find the cabin, this mystical cabin where the witch lives, the North Witch. So the second act, they go. First, it's all fun and having a good time establishing the characters. And then it slowly ramps up the creepiness, right? They camp out in the woods. Somebody disappears. They get lost. And eventually they stumble upon the cabin. They, I don't know, decide to stay in the cabin. There's a typewriter, too. And electricity. It's really not screaming old witch cabin to me. I guess you can say it's a more modern witch, or that the cabin was built and then it was modernized later, but to me, I think it would have been better to have a completely stark and creepy sort of cabin with no modern conveniences whatsoever. But I don't think they ever find the initial missing girl, and then they hold up in the cabin, maybe looking for her or plotting to get back to civilization because they're lost, and they spend the night in the cabin, and they all start to go insane, and the witch gets them to kill each other, or they all kill themselves because they're seeing things and doing things and tearing their hair out. The ending, well, it is an indie horror movie, so it could end with everybody dying and nobody ever comes back to tell the tale. Could end with one of them coming back, but she's completely insane. It could end in the classic sort of somebody finally figures out how to defeat the witch, and like maybe two of them escape, one or two of them escape the woods. But the witch will return in the North Witch 2. This time it's personal. But I like the music. I like the setup. It, you know, it feels like it's fairly realistic. Yeah, and I like witch stuff, so I'm on board. All right, here we go. 5 women embark on search for a cabin that mysteriously went missing 60 years ago. They soon realize that watching them is a sinister, demented being. Can they survive the horrors of the North Witch, or is death a better way out? Ooh, yeah. So it's pretty dark. Pretty dark. Um, yeah, this might be the last shot in the movie. Maybe she just starts hitting herself with the hammer and it cuts to black and that's the end. Could be. It could get that sort of Blair Witchy type of ending. But unlike the Blair Witch, you could see what's happening. Um, yeah, no, I'd be down for this. It's creepy. It's creepy, and I like witches in my movies and in my literature. And they seem to be doing the witch correctly. Like, when they do the witch as the good guy, it doesn't really work for me. Witches are agents of chaos in literature. So they're sort of above and beyond good and evil. They're just, you don't want to mess with them. Messing with a witch is just bad news all the way around. And this looks like this continues that tradition. So yeah, I would totally stream this. I would go to the movie theater for it. Maybe. But I'd prefer to stream it. When's it gonna drop? I'm wondering. Probably next year. It says 2024. I mean, if they got it out like right now, like if it came out this week, it'd be sort of just in time. Like the spooky season doesn't really end until Thanksgiving, so you could do 2 more weeks of spooky season stuff. But yeah, otherwise you might as well drop this in January, February. I think it would do good. It would be a good February movie. Low budget, not a lot of competition during that time. Don't want to see a big movie. Still cold and bitter. This feels like a cold movie. Anyhow, that's it for me. Tony D and Little Jones somewhere behind me. Check me out tomorrow at the Indie Author Day at the Bridgeton Public Library from 12 to 3. I'll have my books. And then on Sunday, I'll be at Groovy Graveyard at Asbury Park from 11 to 4. Hope to see you there. We'll see you tomorrow.